Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining me on the training call this evening. Tonight, I want to look at just something simple like flexibility of the system and the simplicity of the system. Before I go any further, I just want to read this disclaimer because we will be looking at some financial models and some calculations this evening. So I just want to say that NWP doesn't offer any financial advice. This is all based on my personal experience. Whatever I share with you this evening is things that I've actually seen, experienced, touched, felt in the system. And it's from that experience that I'm sharing this with you. As I always say, it's important that everyone understands how their funds are being used. And please remember that past performance does not guarantee any future results. All the calculations that I'll show you are estimates. The accuracy thereof and the outcomes cannot be guaranteed, obviously, because as we know, things change on a weekly basis. So you might get a better or slightly different result to the ones that I might show you. Now, everything that I show you is in US dollars. So if you're thinking in rands, try use the calculator to work out the rands if you need to. But otherwise, all the examples that I show you are in US dollars. It's really about, instead of just doing something and waiting for things to happen, what I'm going to show you here tonight is a very simple way to actively grow your money and your business. So let's hope that I can clearly explain and that you understand at the end of this presentation how that you can go about doing this for yourself. And you're going to ask at the end of this presentation, this is the question you're going to ask yourself: why isn't everyone doing this? Well, it's usually a combination of two things. And it's firstly, not knowing what you don't know. And then the second thing is the perceived effort of switching from what you already know. That's the resistance to change. So that's why everyone isn't doing this, but it's your duty to understand this for yourself and then to be able to communicate that to your people so that they too can understand this and participate in the simplicity of the system, because it's really about the simplicity. And because of the simplicity, things are often overlooked. So don't overlook it because it's simple. I think that's the biggest mistake that we can make. And often you'll see things out there that are so complex and so complicated, and that impresses some people. But I want you to be impressed by the simplicity of the system, because it is so simple. You can explain it to your grade 1 child and they will understand this if you just take your time to do it. There's nothing complicated about the system. It's said that we're not limited by our abilities, we are limited by our vision. And I hope to instill a bit of vision into you this evening. In my words, what is vision? Well, it's hope. If we've got hope, it gives us a meaning, and it causes us to want to carry on living. And that's my experience with life. If there's some hope, we can carry on. So our duty is really to give other people hope and to help them understand that they too can have hope. So when I talk about that flexibility, it's the low $10 entry point, and we're going to concentrate a lot on that very low entry point and just how flexible that becomes. There's no subscription and trading fees, and that makes a big difference. If you were paying a subscription fee of, let's say, I don't know, a monthly fee or a yearly fee, all of that could have gone into your actual savings deposit, and that could have worked for you. So there's nowhere where they're charging you a subscription or a trading fee in the system. It's simply you put in your deposit. None of your deposits or your redeposits are ever locked. So you have full access to that, and there's no penalties for withdrawing your capital. That's vital, because Other systems will charge you a steep penalty for withdrawing your capital, or they'll simply lock your capital away and you won't be able to get it. There's nothing like that. It's your capital is effectively locked for a week if you look at that and think that that's a lock. But that's all that your capital from a Monday to Friday, that's when it's locked. On the weekend, at any point, you can take it. And then the other thing is obviously the affiliate plan. So I'm going to be talking about how you can earn from the affiliate plan this evening, giving you some examples. And remember that to earn that, you do not need to have a single cent in the system yourself. So if you are cash strapped and even $10 for some people, that is a difficult thing. But that's where the NWP system helps everybody. You don't need to even have $10 in the system to earn from the affiliate plan. This is the most flexible and simple, accessible online saving system that I have ever seen. There isn't another one like this in the world. It's so flexible. It really puts you in control. And over and above that, it's 100% sustainable because everything is based on the weekly profits. It's never based on any money that's paid up front or anything like that. So the system is never at risk because of money that's paid out. So this is the example that I put in the presentation, the normal Tuesday and Thursday presentations. And that's that one with $12 for 60 months. That's $720 capital that you've actually put in over the 5-year period. And that results in a projected growth of $5,000 in total. So that's $12. All you're doing there is just taking your profits, putting in your profits whenever you can, whenever it's ready to $10 or more, you're going to put it back into the system. And then you're going to take a new $12 every month and put that in. And that's going to be your result after 5 years. So that's $5,000 and you've only spent $720. And that, if you take that 14 months more, you've got $10,000. And obviously, $10,000 becomes extremely significant because then you're at the next earning level on the next portfolios, and you then moved from the foundation portfolios into the growth portfolios at 8% a month. So there you are simply accelerating things exceptionally quickly. This is an example of someone in my team that's got a growth portfolio. They had 10,000, or they reached their 10,000. They'd been in the system a little bit longer than October last year, but it was on the 4th of October last year that they actually reached 10,000. And you can see there's their weekly income. And what does that look like today? So 5 months later, they have earned from their 10,000 they had then. They've now got 15,649. This was on the 2nd of March. So that was last week. They had earned 52% in 5 months. So that just gives you an example of that compounding effect. And what I'll show you this evening, this is the sort of the first level that you would aim for. And, then it just grows from here. But it's about how do we get here? And that's often the question. How do we get to this point where we've got 10,000 in our profile? And how do we get to the point where we've got 50,000 in our profile? And 50,000 sounds like a lot of money. But remember that it's all done with time. And that's what I'm going to show you, that everything is possible with time. A little bit of effort each month, small little bits that add up and get huge over time. So success is actually predictable. And you'll know that I sent you that calculator for you to look at. Have a look at that calculator. We will be looking at it now and looking at a few examples with that. But the question that I put on the group earlier is just one of the 3 questions that I'm going to put to you tonight. And this calculator is what I used to determine all of those. And so it's very simple. You only fill in the yellow columns here, the yellow cells. You would put your information that you need to in there, and then the calculator does the rest for you. So look at this. How much would you need to deposit monthly to reach $10,000 in 5 years? We just spoke about that $10,000 profile, and that is $23 a month to reach $10,000 in 5 years. Now, how much would you need to deposit monthly if you wanted to reach $50,000 in 5 years? Well, that's $65 a month. So you can see it's exceptionally small little amounts that you would commit on a monthly basis, but get you a huge result at the end. And remember that whilst you're doing this, you still have full access to all your capital. So if you were saving up for something, and let's say you were doing $23 a month and you wanted $5,000 to put down on a deposit on something, well, as soon as you get to your $5,000, nothing's locked away. Everything at that point is available to you. You haven't, no one's locking you out of your money at any stage. And that's the big difference. Whenever you put in money and you redepositing profits, that you only redepositing them for a week, and you have access to it after that week. So that's the big difference. So those are just two examples. And then coming to the next slide, look at this. Okay, now if we go back one, and you saw if you wanted 50,000 in 5 years, you would need 65,000 or $65 a month. Okay, so if now our brains sort of mess with us and we think, well, if we wanted $1 million, well, surely we're going to need a whole lot more than $65 a month. But the interesting thing is, because of compound effects of money on money, when profits on profits, you actually only need $13 a month put away for 10 years, and you will achieve more than $1 million. Isn't that amazing? So this is when I mentioned earlier in the presentation, you don't know what you don't know. Well, this was a light bulb moment for me, because you kind of like think, wow, if I, looking back at the last slide again, if I needed $65 a month to achieve 50,000 in 5 years, then to achieve $1 million, I would need a whole lot more. But the difference comes in the actual compounding effect. So before we actually look at those models and how they work, how would this help your earnings? Because, we're here to make money. We're not here to see how other people make money. We want to know how we make money. And of course, if you've got nice money in the profile, well, you're going to make that sort of money. If you are on your way to achieving whatever your target is, that's great. But, we've got this multi-level marketing business, and how are we going to earn money with that? Well, I've used a very simple example. And obviously, from the 3 examples that I've just given you, the potential is big. But let's use a more conservative example. And what I've thought about here is you've got 10 people on your left and 10 people on your right. Each of these people, and remember, this can be the team effect as well. It's not just you. So you might have spillover, where your business is increasing by $500 on the left and $500 on the right per month. That could be people that are simply depositing that, or it could just be the way your business grows. So let's just assume that you've just got 10 people on the left, and each of them are putting in $50 a month. How would that look like in your growth? Well, if you're going to look at a 5-year period, the first month, you're going to earn $4 from this lot. And in the first year, by the end of the first year, you're earning $68 because you've only got $9,000 in your weakest leg at that stage. Take another year onto that, and that with their reinvestment compounding, you're now earning $260 a month by the end of the second year. Then by the third year, you're earning $910 a month. Now, it sounds like, well, hey, I've been around for 3 years. I'm only earning $910 a month. But you know what? This could have been the situation where you didn't have any money to start with, but you slowly introduce people. They start putting their money into the system and your earnings increase. And that's what it's all about. So this is just your binary. It's not even referral bonuses. So this could be one of your people, one other person that's joined because of that person, and the business grew and your business grew like this. So with time, things like this could happen. But look at year number 4. You're already earning $3,000 a month. And by year 5, you're earning $10,800 a month. Now, this scenario that I've worked out here for you is only based on foundation portfolios. So, in other words, when people go over into the growth portfolios and you start earning bigger business volume because of bigger earnings, that's not taken into account here. I'm assuming that all of this money is simply in the foundation portfolios, and there's no one with anyone in the growth portfolios or in the elite portfolios, which is virtually impossible, especially in the higher levels. But nevertheless, this just gives you a very basic idea of earnings and how your business can grow with time. So people ask me, how much do you earn? I don't really care how much I earn today. I'm more worried about what I'm going to earn next year and the year after that, because I know it's going to grow. And as the numbers in the business grow, so is my earnings going to grow. And that's what it's all about. And I would rather know that I've got a long-term earning than get a short-term earning and not have a business, in a month or two's time. This is a long-term sustainable business, and the model is built to give you this type of thing and sustain that. So now those earnings that I've just shown you, so what if you went and you were in the fortunate enough position to say, I don't know if I need that money. I'm sure I can just reinvest it. So let me see what happens, and let's use an example of if you just redeposited your earnings, just to see what that would give you. And I'm not saying that you should do that. I'm all for, if you're earning the money, go and spend your money. But if you did want to deposit it, you could happily go and do that, and this would be your result. So you would start off with $10. So wherever you got the $10 from, that would be your start, just because that's how the calculator works. The calculator needs at least something to start with, and the $10 is your minimum. So you'd start with that. You would have earned $580 in the first year, so you put that in. In the second year, you're going to add your difference to that, whatever you earned that year, and you've added that now. You can see from this example here, there were your earnings. So I've just added those in on a monthly basis so that you can get this. And you can see here that at the end of your 5-year period, you've actually got almost $500,000 in your own profile that you've reinvested from your earnings. So it just gives you an idea, even if you didn't reinvest them, but that would be what you could have earned and may have earned. And remember that the example that I gave you was only based on foundation portfolios, not growth and elite portfolios, which give you a much higher return and much higher, bigger bonuses when it comes to that, because they are earning more. Right, so it's all about preparing today so that you can prosper tomorrow. That is my presentation. At this point, before we go into look at the calculator, are there any questions?
Hi, Rich. Yes, I've got a question.
Yes.
Okay, regarding all the reinvestment amounts that you've mentioned, for example, $10 a month. Is
Yes.
that $10 a month out of your pocket? Every month you do $10. Doesn't matter how much you've earned, or is it $10 plus whatever your profits were for the month?
Yes. So what I've done is it's new money that you put into the system, and taking your profits, investing that, and then also putting a new amount in. So if we talk about the 13 or the 12 or whatever, that's the new 12 that you put in on a monthly basis, and then your profits on top of that to give you that compounding effect.
Okay, just to double check, so it's actually both, the sum of both now.
Yes, that's correct. Yes, that's right.
Okay, I understand. Thank you, sir.
Pleasure. So I hope that everyone was able to open the calculator that I sent you. If you do have any technical difficulties, please just let me know, and we can see what we can do to get that fixed for you if you have got any difficulties. So what happens here is you'll notice that the system also takes away your 5%, the withdrawal fee. So that is automatically calculated in. So if you were having, let's say you'd made $10 for the week, the system will automatically calculate that you've only got $9.50. So then it's going to wait for another week before it actually makes the reinvestment which actually, although the system does it, remember that it's always a manual process. It's something you have to physically do yourself. But the system's assuming that you are going to do it, obviously. If you don't do it, the system won't know that. You'll have to do that yourself, but it will work out when there's more than $10. That's either with and it's only the profits. So if you're going to put in $13 a month, on the fourth week, it's putting the $13 in, for instance, and then every other time, as soon as it gets to $10 or more, it allows you, it then works out and makes you sort of provision that you did do that redeposit. So that's how it works. So, looking at this calculator, for instance, you're starting off, obviously, you're going to put $13 in as your start. The next time, you're going to add $13. And you'll notice here that your $13, even at 5 years, has only got to 5,668. But at 6 years, you're at 11,000, and at 10 years, you had $1 million. And that's because remember that as soon as you've got to 10, you're starting to earn the 8%. And as soon as you get to 50, you're starting to earn the 10%, and then things really go fast. So this is the way to use this calculator. Remember, if you are making changes or doing anything, and let's say, for instance, you wanted to look at where you're at today. So if you use an example and you say, well, I've got 567 in my profile today, but I want to carry on and add my $13 every month. Or I might want to add $13 a month. And let's say I'm going to put in $10 a week, because that's what I'm making in bonuses and that sort of thing. So the system will automatically work that out for you, and it'll tell you where you're going to be in these time periods. I didn't put there's no provision made for 7 years, 8 years, 9 years. It sort of just jumps from 6.5 years to 10 years, because most of us look at a 5-year sort of period. And even if you wanted to find out, let's say, for instance, I want to know what I'm going to do in 8 years, well, then just take the result from the 5-year, put that into here, say 72062. That's going to be the result at 5 years. So if I was looking for an 8-year result, well, there at 5 plus 3, I'm going to achieve my 2.7. So in other words, 5, 6, 7.5 years, I would be over the 1 million. So you could say it's about 2 2.25 years and you would be at the million. So that would mean that your, and remember that you can't say that this, that's where you would be if you'd got to that. So it doesn't, you can't say, well, I'm going to add my 5, and that's why I didn't, that's why I made sure that I put in 10 years here, because your result can be quite skewed. Because this, if you assume that this was where you at for the first 5 years, you always got to look at it as a full example. So if you have got that currently, yes, you can add it and you can put that in. So that's why I say, if you've got $450 currently, you just put in whatever you've got currently, and then of course it will work out the rest for you. So then it's going to give you an accurate figure for whatever you're doing. So I hope this is easy to use. Remember, you only need to add whatever you've got at the moment, or whatever you're starting with. Add what you want, if you want to do it monthly or weekly and monthly. And then if you want to see the rand dollar exchange, for instance, or the other calculators have got nairas in them, they've got euros in them. But in this one that we're looking at the moment, it's got ZAR. So you just put the current ZAR exchange rate, and that will also just help you get a better idea of what's happening there. So I hope that's clear and understandable for everyone. And this is all based on the minimum. It's not the maximum that you could. So this is based on a flat 5% per month, a flat 8% a month, and a flat 10% per month. So some weeks are going to be better than others. But that, as someone asked on the group earlier, you're achieving, the targets that the traders look for on a monthly basis is 5% or 10 or 8% or 10%. So that's what this calculator is based on. It's not based on the highest possible or some imaginary number. This is what's been achieved over the last 71 weeks, and it's been consistent. So, you can work with us. Obviously, there's no guarantees, but you can work with us. Any questions?
Hi, Rich. Sorry, me again.
Yes, Chris.
Yes, I just want to know there with the initial deposit amount. So if you've got some kind of booster, let's say the $40 or $30 as it is now, you can add that there.
Fortunately, the calculator would just be too complex if you did take into account the crocodiles and the boosters and those sort of things.
Yes, Rich, it makes actually 100% sense to me. So yes, I agree. When you do these calculations, see the booster as like an additional bonus. Should you then reinvest anything from the booster into the system, then after the period, let's say working on your 90 booster, you will still have $90 coming back if you've reinvested. The booster fall away, but your balance will be $90, and then you can include it in this calculator. I don't know if that makes sense.
Yes, yeah. Or you can simply just take those as, just add it to the other money, because that's what you going to be trying to do. If you were adding, a couple of dollars a month, then you would say, okay, I've got now $5 in my checkout wallet from my profit, and I'm just going to withdraw that, add it to my new amount, and which would be $10 or $12, whatever you've decided to put in on a monthly basis, and that's just going to boost what you put in for the month. That's really the way to look at the booster.
Hello, you can't hear me?
Yes.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you, Wilbert, yes.
I'm going to ask you if I passed away, but it's not if, it's when.
Okay.
Is this that's going to happen to all of us, isn't it?
Yes, exactly.
Is this transferable to my say to my wife or my girlfriend or whoever I had at that stage?
Yes, yes, it is. So it's very simple. All that happens is you would tell people what your wishes are. So whoever introduced you to the system, if it was Chris, for instance, make sure that he
Yeah, he's
knows.
that good friend of mine, Chris. Yes.
Yes. So you tell Chris what you want, okay? And what Chris does is he just gets in contact with me or one of the other founders. And what we do then is we just change your email details on your account. And
Okay.
then that just allows your person that you transferred it to carry on and take over your account. It's very simple.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, that good friend of mine, Chris, he promised to also contribute another $12 per week.
Oh,
So
geez.
I'm looking forward to that.
No, I mean, can we get some more friends like that?
It was nice listening to you. I'll see if I can attend all your presentations, the
Okay.
meetings. Have a nice evening.
You too. Thanks, Wilbert. Enjoy. So this is a bit of a different presentation. On a Wednesday, we try to look at an aspect of the business and provide some background and training into it. And then on a Tuesday and a Thursday, that's when we have our normal presentations. And we're also going to try and align the times that we have the presentations so that they're all at the same time, so that you don't have this jump between the Tuesdays and the Wednesdays and back to the half an hour earlier. So I think as from the end of this month, we'll make all the meetings at the same time so that no one gets confused or has to try to remember which day we're at, and that sort of thing. Because I know we're all busy and we sort of, it slips our mind from time to time. So yeah, if you've got any suggestions about when you would like the times of the meetings, just let me know and we can synchronize them all at the same time. Good. So this is really just a tool to keep things simple and to help you see the effect of compounding over time. And just those little bits make such a big difference in the end, as you'll see with that $13. I mean, I was completely bowled away by that $13, and if you just add $13 a month, suddenly you've got a fantastic total at the end. And if you did introduce your friends and you were slowly building up, you could then add weekly. If your weekly bonus was about $10, there you go, and look at the difference there. You've by adding another $10 a week, you've increased that to almost 15 million over 10 years, which is big. If often that when I help people, they'll often ask me, they want a certain amount that they would like to earn on a monthly basis, and it usually sits between just below the $50,000 mark. Okay, what they'd like to earn. So just to give you an example here, let's say, for instance, you put 50,000 in. If you look at what will happen here now, is everything will change. It'll go there, and you've got a weekly return of 1,250. That's 5,000. Now, if we look at what is that in rands, for instance, because people often talk about their rands, and then that, just to work out the rands here, I'll just put 5,000 in rands here just to get us an idea of the rands. So that's 82,000. Now, just remember, 5,000 is 82,000. And what people often look for is 60,000 the rands. Okay. So remember that $50,000 is going to give you $82,000 or $5,000 a month. So now we're going to try and work this out to get ourselves into the 60,000. So what we need is about, let's try 4,000 here, just to give us an idea of what that's going to do. 4,060. So let's settle on 4,000. So remember, we're only $1,000 down on our thing, but now the 50,000 gives us 2.5% a week or 10% a month, whereas what would we need invested to give us 4,000? And this is obviously not per month, per week. This I just put it in this column here. But what we're trying to look for is to get us that on a monthly basis. So we're going to try, what do we need to get $1,000 a week? So let's see. Will 40,000 do it? 40,000 is only going to give us $800 a week. So here we go, 45,000. And that's going to give us $900 a week. So you see, this is the difference between the growth portfolios and the elite portfolios. So it's so close to the elite portfolios that you may as well just wait and get 82,000 as opposed to 66,000, if you understand my reasoning here. Because let's see, 47,500, 950. So let's go for 48,500, 970. So if you understand by my thinking here, 980. Yeah. So 49,750. So only $250 short. Let's see if that's going to give it to us. We're $5 short. So if you understand my thinking here, to get yourself to a $50,000 profile is almost, if you wanted to give yourself an income of anything livable and so that you can live comfortably, your target would be 50,000, because that's going to give you more than enough money. If you were needing 60,000, having an extra 20,000 per month just gives you the ability to do something to counteract inflation and all those type of things. So that often that's what I see with people. So when we talk about $50,000, 835,000 rand, or above 800,000 rand, that is what is going to give you a very nice income. Just below that, you would still, really, you're $250 more. You can wait another week because you're going to earn it quickly, and you can just make yourself 50,000 and then carry on from there. So when you're using this calculator, always remember what is the next level up. When moving from the foundation to the growth, 10,000 is obviously your target. It's just going to increase things much quicker. And then again, at this sort of level where people are looking for a sort of living money to be able to live on, it's much sort of at the 50,000 where you'd want to be. And then it just gives you so much more flexibility and choices from there on. And remember, you can always withdraw your capital at any time. And that's the beauty of the NWP system. So I hope that helps. I hope let me just check the messages here. Nkosi, please ask, just explain what you would like me and what you don't understand, so that I can explain that to you. If you either put that in the chat or just unmute your microphone and ask your question, if you don't mind. The calculator has been shared on the group. So it was sent out a little bit earlier, just when I mentioned that we had about 45 minutes to go. I did put the calculator onto the group. So if you can't find it, just send me a message. Nkosi, yes.
Hello, how are you?
Fine on yourself.
Fine, thanks. Oh, I wish to know that if I'm putting maybe $100, how much I will get weekly.
Okay. If you're going to put $100, okay, let's put $100. Okay. $100 is going to give you, let's just put zeros here. Are you just going to put $100 once? Or are you going to put $100 in a month or something like that?
Or I wish to put $100 first, but maybe weekly I will add with $10 or $25
Okay.
every week.
All right. So
Yeah.
let's have a look at your first example there. Your $100 is going to this column here. It's going to give you a minimum of $1.25 per week, $1.25 per week. Okay.
Okay.
Then
Yeah.
then what you can do is for the $10, we put in, you're going to add $10 per week. Okay. And then
Yeah.
look at the result over 5 years, or let's say here at 4 years and something, you've reached $10,000. So remember that you've only put $100 in, and then you're going to put $10 per week. So that's going to be 208 weeks. That's 2,180 that you would have put in, but your total investment at that point will be 10,000. Okay, so that's just over the 4 years.
Okay.
So
4 years. Okay.
So your money's kind of like gone 5 times in that period.
Okay. Okay, I understand. Okay, okay, $100 weekly is $1.25. It says even though it's $50, it will be one same profit.
No. This weekly return up top here. Yeah, thanks for that. The weekly return up there is just on this initial money. It's not on your actual. It's not. It's just on that. The first one. Thanks. I'll make that clearer as well. I'll just say what that is, because that can be a bit confusing. So that's just on your
Yes.
$100, not on the extra $10. Yeah.
Okay. Because maybe I thought if you maybe putting more money, your capital, maybe the weekly return will be maybe up or it's the same, doesn't change.
What I can do is see if I can add the weekly return into this column here next to the rands, and it will show
Okay.
you for your capital what you've got and how much you can get weekly, what your earning would be weekly. That might help.
Okay.
It's a good question. Thank you. Yeah, let me do that. Okay.
Okay.
Wilbert, I see you unmuted your microphone. Do you have another question?
No, I do understand now everything. If I had a $50,000, I could have received a handsome money monthly to have a good living.
Yeah,
And I was just working it out, but I just want to see if I can get out of that calculator.
Okay.
But you must have a good evening. Thanks for your meeting.
Pleasure. Now, ask Chris. I'm
bye-bye.
sure he's got the calculator and he can forward that to you, Wilbert.
Thank you so much.
It's a pleasure. Good. So what I'll do is add that weekly return in next to the column there. So where it shows you where you at your different projected capital weeks. I'll put a weekly
okay.
earning column there so that everyone can see it, and what
Yes.
you can earn on a weekly basis, because then it makes sense. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. I'll do that. So then just wait for that one. I'll share that tomorrow sometime once I've had time to update it and check it, and then I'll send that out on the group tomorrow then.
Okay, no problem.
All right.
It's okay. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Rich. I really appreciate your effort.
Was the spreadsheet sort of clear to you?
Yes, it was.
Okay.
Thank you.
It's a great pleasure. Good. I'll just make those changes as Nkosi suggested. I think that'll be very helpful for people as well. So I'll do that. Good. Okay. Well, I think that's everything for this evening. Do have a good evening further, and if you're joining us on the presentation tomorrow evening, that I'll see you then. Otherwise, do have a good week further. We look forward to Saturday, and think about how you can share this and how you can use this tool to build your business. It's those small little commitments from people that really make the difference, and it makes a difference to their earnings, as you can see from the calculator, and also obviously as their earnings grow, so will your business grow and your earnings, and that's what we're all here for, to earn some extra money. So that'll make a big difference. Thank you very much. Do you have a good evening further?